Some say life is a matter of luck, but that is the biggest lie ever sold to humanity. And maybe that's exactly why so many people remain trapped in the same emotional stories, repeating patterns that seem invisible but determine everything. No one told you that there is a hidden key inside your mind, capable of bending reality around you. Because if people knew the power you have, you would never again accept living on autopilot. The truth is simple and brutal. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you vibrate. And this sentence, so counterintuitive, is precisely what silently transforms lives. If you observe your life honestly, you'll see that everything you've attracted so far is directly connected to your deepest emotions and beliefs, even the ones you never dared to admit. And now, for the first time, you will learn how to reprogram that vibration to the point of changing your entire destiny without having to fight against the world. Because when the mind changes, the vibration changes. And when the vibration changes, the universe responds with almost frightening speed. Get ready. This audiobook is not for those seeking cheap motivation or empty quotes. It was created for those tired of trying to change the external world without touching the internal one, for those who want real and tangible results. Here, you'll discover that what has always held you back were not circumstances, but frequencies. And when you learn how to manipulate them, doors begin to open as if they were unlocked from the inside. You will feel a strange mixture of familiarity and shock, because part of you always knew something bigger was guiding your steps, and another part was always afraid to claim that power. But today, those two parts finally meet, and when they do, your identity expands and your inner power awakens with enough strength to alter everything it touches. This audiobook is an invitation to abandon the scarcity mindset once and for all, and enter the vibrational field where abundance, clarity, and purpose stop being concepts and become real states of being. And if you follow every word with consistency, your mind will begin operating in such deep mental alignment that the universe will have no choice but to respond. So I need to ask you something now, before we go any further. Are you ready to challenge everything you believed about yourself, about life, about what is possible? Because if you are, know that you're about to enter a journey that blends science, spirituality, emotional practice, and vibrational precision. And none of it requires blind faith, only willingness to test what you were never taught. You will understand why ordinary people create extraordinary results and why others, even when hardworking, remain trapped in the same emotional loop for decades. And more than understanding, you will feel this happening inside you, as every word in this audiobook recalibrates your vibration in a way you may never have experienced before. From here on, there's no turning back. Your mind is about to be repositioned, your beliefs reorganized, your energy aligned, and your inner power reignited like a force that has always belonged to you but was dormant. If you are ready to embrace this version of yourself, then breathe deeply, because your reprogramming begins now. He would always say that life changes the moment a person understands one simple detail. The universe doesn't respond to what they ask for, but to what they become. And that's why self-discipline matters, far more than desires thrown into the wind. The identity someone carries daily is what actually vibrates outward into the world. There's no use repeating dreams if your behavior contradicts everything. At this point, the mentor explained how mental alignment transforms any journey. And of course, that alignment is born from small choices repeated with consistency. What's curious is that when someone hears this for the first time, they usually think it's an exaggeration. But just observe. Someone who feels defeated attracts problems exactly like that. Someone who cultivates inner power sees doors opening where they once saw only walls. The universe responds to your dominant frequency, not to your moments of inspiration. That's why aligning identity with intention changes the entire game. And when that intention is sustained with consistency, life starts flowing differently. The mentor always laughed, saying the universe understands actions, not complaints. He often used a simple example. If a person wants prosperity but constantly says life is hard, they're sending the wrong signal. Mental alignment requires that thoughts and emotions point toward the same destination. This silent coherence is what activates the law of attraction truthfully. Without self-discipline, though, it's impossible to maintain that focus. And when focus is lost, identity fractures and everything resets. That's why the process is both delicate and powerful. For him, everything began by visualizing who the person wanted to be, not just what they wanted to have. Because the universe doesn't deliver results to someone who hasn't yet developed the internal shape of those results. Inner power doesn't come from asking. It comes from embodying. You know when someone acts like they've already won. That posture creates a whole new vibrational field. And when that field is reinforced with consistency, it becomes magnetic. That's when things get interesting. He always emphasized that self-discipline is the bridge between desire and manifestation. There's no mental alignment without consciously repeating the same internal patterns. When someone thinks one thing, feels another, and behaves in a completely opposite way, the universe receives a confused message. But when clarity and firmness exist, it's as if reality receives new coordinates. A strong identity generates a strong frequency, and a strong frequency generates equally strong results. One day, he asked a young man to write down everything he mentally repeated throughout the day. The list was full of complaints, criticism, and self-sabotaging phrases. "This is why your life looks like this," he said gently. Without noticing, the young man was creating his own reality. From that day on, he started practicing consistency with simple thoughts: gratitude, security, clarity. In a few months, his identity was already different. And with a new identity came a new life. To him, the law of attraction wasn't magic, it was mechanics. The universe responds to the pattern you sustain day after day. It's not about random thoughts, but the internal climate you carry all the time. That's why inner power is so valuable. It ensures that even on difficult days, your center remains firm. Mental alignment is about staying on the desired frequency, even when everything tries to pull you off track. And this requires a consistency that feels almost stubborn. He also explained that imagining the future helps, yes, but it only works when the person behaves according to the version they imagined. There's no point dreaming of being healthy while living like someone who has given up on life. Identity must match the destination. Self-discipline becomes a kind of energetic declaration. When someone starts behaving as if they've already achieved the goal, the universe understands immediately and responds in the same way. He always said the universe loves coherence. One of his examples was about relationships. Someone who desires a healthy love, but treats themselves with neglect vibrates the opposite. Identity precedes experience. A person must first become someone capable of receiving what they desire. This process, though simple, requires constant mental alignment. And over time, inner power grows naturally. It's beautiful how things fall into place when consistency sustains everything. He explained that people don't attract what they want. They attract what they believe they deserve. That's why emotional self-discipline is essential. Without it, any challenge throws your vibration off and disrupts the process. When someone practices mental alignment daily, they realize that small internal shifts create big external changes. Identity shifts first, and reality follows. He always said, the universe only completes what you begin inside. The way a person feels something matters more than the way they think about it. Emotions are stronger signals than words. Inner power comes from mastering your emotional climate. When you combine that with self-discipline, results appear faster than you imagine. It's like adjusting an antenna. When the frequency stabilizes, the signal comes in clear. And with consistency, the universe sees that you're finally ready. He suggested creating small rituals to maintain alignment. Something as simple as 5 minutes of silence before the day begins, visualizing who you want to become. These small habits mold identity slowly, discreetly, but deeply. Mental alignment requires repetition, but also lightness. It isn't rigidity, it's intentional continuity. And when intention meets inner power, the universe inevitably responds. The mentor always reminded that the law of attraction doesn't distinguish good or bad. It only responds to what you vibrate. That's why training mental self-discipline is as important as training the body. An undisciplined mind creates chaos. An aligned mind creates progress. A strong identity generates automatic focus. And with consistency, this becomes natural flow, no longer effort. It's within that flow that things begin happening almost effortlessly. He said the great secret is adopting a protagonist posture. Those who live as victims attract situations that reinforce that role. Those who live with inner power attract opportunities that echo their strength. Mental alignment completely transforms the journey because it organizes internal energy. And when that happens, the universe responds faster than you think. He always said, life changes when you change. Simple, direct, true. What's most curious is that when a person finally grasps this principle, they begin seeing everything differently. The universe stops seeming like a distant enemy and becomes a silent partner. Self-discipline creates the rhythm. Identity creates the foundation. Mental alignment creates the path. And consistency keeps it alive. He smiled, saying that once you understand this, you are ready for the next lesson, the power of the mind. He would often say that the subconscious mind is like a silent listener, absorbing everything you repeat emotionally. It doesn't argue, doesn't debate, doesn't filter, it simply accepts. That's why affirmations shape identity so deeply. They create inner instructions that the mind begins to obey. When someone says, I am powerful, the subconscious doesn't question whether it's true. It simply begins reorganizing the internal structure to match that vibration. Mental alignment begins here, in repetition loaded with emotion. He explained that many people underestimate the force behind a simple phrase, spoken with intention. A whispered, I am enough, can rewrite years of internal conflict when repeated with consistency. Affirmations act like seeds planted in fertile soil, and over time, they become emotional truths. Self-discipline is what waters those seeds daily. Without it, old beliefs take over again. And when identity begins shifting, the external world follows quickly. He liked comparing affirmations to emotional instructions. The subconscious loves clarity, and I am statements are the clearest commands you can give it. They bypass logic and enter directly into the emotional center. That's why inner power increases every time you repeat a phrase that elevates you. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about training your emotional climate. And when that climate improves, everything around you shifts. He used to say that anyone who wants to change their life must first change their internal vocabulary. You cannot speak like a victim and expect to live like a creator. The subconscious takes words seriously. Every I can't, every I'm unlucky, every life is hard becomes a blueprint. Self-discipline is refusing to reinforce these emotional contracts. Mental alignment requires protecting your language like something sacred. And when you do, identity rises naturally. He gave a powerful exercise. Repeat, I am powerful for 30 days, but feel it, even if just for a moment, each time. Most people repeat affirmations mechanically, but without emotion, nothing enters the subconscious. Feeling even 1% truth is enough for the subconscious to begin reorganizing its patterns. With consistency, that 1% becomes 10%, then 50%, then 100%. Inner power blooms the moment the mind finally believes it. He explained that affirmations are so effective because the subconscious cannot differentiate imagination from reality. If you say, I am confident, the subconscious triggers physiological responses associated with confidence. Your breathing changes, your posture changes, your attention changes. Identity slowly reorganizes around that new inner posture. And when identity changes, the universe responds automatically. That is the mechanics behind vibrational manifestation. He emphasized that the repetition must be emotional, not desperate. When you repeat, I am abundant, while vibrating fear, the subconscious receives the fear, not the words. Mental alignment happens when the emotion and the statement match, even partially. That's why the practice must be gentle and persistent. Self-discipline helps you return to the affirmation daily, and consistency transforms the phrase into lived truth. He often told the story of people who repeated, I am worthy of love, until their relationships naturally changed. Not because the affirmation created someone new, but because it awakened a version of them that had been silent for years. Identity expands when new emotional truths enter the subconscious. Inner power strengthens because self-worth becomes natural, and mental alignment makes it easier to choose healthier experiences. He said that affirmations work like mental commands that gain strength with continued repetition. The subconscious loves familiarity. The more you say something, the more real it becomes to the internal system. This is why negative self-talk is so damaging. It also becomes real. Self-discipline is choosing which thoughts deserve to grow roots. Consistency ensures these roots become the foundation of a transformed identity. He reminded everyone that affirmations are most powerful when spoken aloud. The vibration of the voice activates both the emotional and physical body. Hearing your own voice declaring, "I am strong," creates deeper acceptance in the subconscious. Inner power rises in these moments. Mental alignment follows the tone of your voice, and identity solidifies each time the words are repeated with intention. He suggested repeating affirmations in front of the mirror, not for vanity, but to confront your own energy directly. Looking into your eyes while saying, "I am enough," creates a connection between mind, emotion, and physical presence. This accelerates emotional rewiring. Self-discipline makes this practice a habit. Consistency turns it into transformation, and inner power becomes the new emotional default. He reminded people that affirmations don't work when you expect instant results with no emotional involvement. It's the accumulated repetition that breaks old patterns. Mental alignment requires staying consistent even when it feels slow. Identity shifts subtly at first, then dramatically later. Inner power grows in the silence of these small daily practices. And one day, everything feels different because you are different. He noted that affirmations help neutralize internal sabotage. When the subconscious begins believing in your worth, your choices automatically change. You stop settling for less, stop seeking validation, stop shrinking. Identity becomes aligned with expansion. Self-discipline keeps this growth steady. Mental alignment ensures your choices reflect your new beliefs, and consistency makes the transformation irreversible. He explained that repeating, "I am," is not a ritual, it's a rewiring process. You are teaching your mind a new emotional language, a language that matches the life you want to create. Every word becomes a vibrational instruction. Inner power is awakened in this process. Mental alignment becomes easier each day, and the universe responds because your inner state is finally clear. He always said, "The subconscious doesn't obey intention, it obeys repetition." And that is why affirmations, practiced with emotion and consistency, become one of the most powerful tools in manifestation, because they reconstruct identity from the inside out. They awaken dormant inner power. They create unshakable mental alignment, and they build a foundation that the universe cannot ignore. He would always remind that isolated thoughts don't manifest anything. It's the emotion behind the thought that sends the real signal to the universe. A person can think, "I want abundance," but if internally they feel fear, the dominant vibration is fear. Emotion is the fuel, and repetition is the engine. When you combine the two, manifestation becomes inevitable. Mental alignment happens naturally when emotion and repetition walk together. He explained that the subconscious responds instantly to emotional intensity. A single moment of fear can overwrite 10 moments of neutral thoughts. That's why learning emotional self-discipline is essential. You don't need to feel perfect, you just need to feel on purpose. When intention meets feeling, inner power activates. And with consistency, the emotional pattern becomes stable. That's when reality begins changing. He often said that repetition is the mother of all manifestation. Repeating a thought wires the brain. Repeating an emotion wires the vibration. Repeating a belief wires identity. This is how people accidentally manifest the same problems for years. They repeat the same emotional climate. But if you consciously repeat elevated emotions, the opposite happens. Mental alignment rewires the mind. Inner power rewires the field. And everything shifts. He told the story of a woman who repeated affirmations and visualizations, but never felt anything. Her life didn't change because emotion was missing. The day she finally allowed herself to feel gratitude, even for a few seconds, the shift began. It wasn't the words, it was the feeling behind them. Self-discipline helped her show up daily. Consistency created emotional momentum, and identity began evolving. He explained that each emotion has a frequency, and repetition stabilizes that frequency. Feeling joy once changes nothing. Feeling joy repeatedly rewires your emotional baseline. That's how vibration works. The more often you sustain an emotion, the more real it becomes for your subconscious. Mental alignment learns this new state. Inner power becomes easier to access, and consistency anchors the transformation. He said manifestation is not about intensity, it's about frequency. A person doesn't need to feel powerful all day long. They just need to feel powerful more often than they feel powerless. Even 51% already changes the direction of life. Self-discipline ensures you return to elevated emotions. Identity slowly absorbs that new pattern, and mental alignment stabilizes the emotional frequency until the universe responds. He often compared emotion to a tuning fork. When you vibrate fear, you resonate with fearful scenarios. When you vibrate confidence, you resonate with confident outcomes. Emotion sets the tone. Repetition sustains the tone, and the universe harmonizes with the tone you sustain the longest. That's why inner power grows when you choose elevated emotions repeatedly, and consistency keeps that harmony alive. He said repetition is not meant to convince the universe, it's meant to convince you. Because once your internal world accepts the new frequency, the external world must match it. That is the mechanics of vibrational coherence. Emotional repetition builds identity from scratch. Mental alignment organizes your thoughts around that identity. And self-discipline keeps your vibration from collapsing under pressure. He encouraged people to track their emotional patterns, not to judge themselves, but to understand their vibrational habits. Most people repeat the same emotional loops daily, without noticing. Awareness breaks the loop. Self-discipline replaces it with something better. Consistency sustains the new emotional climate, and inner power expands in the presence of emotional clarity. He explained that feeling something, as if it were real, sends incredibly strong signals to the subconscious. This is why visualization works. The emotion makes the mental picture believable, and what becomes believable becomes achievable. Mental alignment deepens with every emotionally charged repetition. Identity absorbs this new version of self, and the universe adjusts accordingly. He would say, the emotion is the message. The repetition is the delivery system. It's poetic but scientifically consistent. Emotions activate the body. Repetition rewires the brain. Together, they recalibrate vibration. Self-discipline is what keeps the process alive. Inner power grows with each emotional victory, and consistency ensures the new reality stabilizes. He explained that emotional repetition builds what he called vibrational memory. It's like teaching the body how to feel abundance, how to feel confidence, how to feel worthiness. Once the body learns, it stops relying on external triggers. Identity shifts automatically. Mental alignment becomes natural, and inner power becomes baseline instead of exception. He spoke about how people often underestimate small emotional habits. 5 minutes of gratitude repeated daily change more than an hour of forced visualization, because the subconscious listens to frequency, not volume. Self-discipline keeps the emotion alive. Consistency turns it into identity, and mental alignment turns it into manifestation. He noted that emotion and repetition create momentum, and momentum is what collapses old patterns. Even if you start small, the vibration grows. Identity catches up, inner power strengthens, and the universe responds to the new signal. This is why emotional repetition is the core of manifestation mechanics. He always ended this topic by saying, if you can feel it repeatedly, you can create it inevitably. That is the essence of vibrational manifestation. Emotion is vibration. Repetition is programming. Identity is the outcome. And the universe responds when these three align, preparing you for the next step, the power of visualization and belief. He always said that visualization is the bridge between imagination and physical reality. It's not daydreaming, it's vibrational design. When someone imagines themselves already living the life they want, the subconscious receives that image as a preview of destiny. Belief is the emotional glue that holds the image in place. When emotion and imagination merge, mental alignment becomes unbreakable, and consistency makes this new inner world feel more real than the old one. He explained that visualization works because the mind doesn't distinguish imagination from experience. If you imagine yourself succeeding, the nervous system reacts as if success is happening now. Your breathing changes, your posture changes, and your energy shifts. These physiological responses alter your frequency instantly. Identity adapts to this new internal state, and when identity changes, the universe begins rearranging circumstances to match it. He said that to visualize effectively, a person must enter the scene emotionally. It's not just about seeing. It's about feeling the outcome in your body. If someone visualizes abundance while feeling fear, the fear wins. But if they allow even a small spark of joy to enter the visualization, the subconscious absorbs it. That spark ignites inner power. Mental alignment deepens, and reality begins shifting. He encouraged people to imagine details, colors, textures, scents, sensations. The more vivid the imagination, the more real it becomes to the subconscious. And the more real it becomes internally, the faster it materializes externally. Identity reorganizes to match the imagined version. Self-discipline ensures that visualization becomes a daily ritual, and consistency transforms imagination into destiny. He often said that belief is what unlocks the vibrational code. Visualization without belief is fantasy, but visualization with belief is instruction. It's a command. When belief enters the picture, the subconscious receives the message. This is who I am now. Identity shifts accordingly. Inner power strengthens, and manifestation accelerates because the emotional resistance dissolves. He told people not to visualize with desperation, because desperation vibrates lack. Instead, visualize with lightness. What you hold lightly manifests easily, he would say. When you release pressure, the subconscious relaxes and accepts the image. Mental alignment stabilizes. Self-discipline sustains the practice, and consistency ensures that your vibrational signature becomes clear and attractive. He explained that visualizing yourself already having something rewires your emotional baseline. If you feel abundance before having it, abundance becomes familiar, and the universe always delivers experiences that match familiarity. Identity begins responding to abundance emotionally, not intellectually. Inner power expands because the fear of unfamiliarity disappears, and manifestation becomes smoother. He shared the example of athletes who mentally rehearse their performance before stepping into the arena. Science shows their muscles activate in response to the visualization. This proves how powerful imagination is. The subconscious prepares the body for the outcome. Identity adopts the role of a winner. Mental alignment harmonizes intention and movement, and consistency turns training into excellence. He said belief is not something you find, it's something you build. You build it through emotional repetition, through small wins, through choosing trust over fear. Each time you visualize and feel even a fragment of truth, belief grows. Self-discipline keeps the practice alive. Inner power expands with each emotional victory, and mental alignment becomes a stable foundation. He encouraged people to visualize not only outcomes, but also the version of themselves who lives those outcomes. The confident posture, the calm expression, the grounded breath. This shapes identity far more than imagining objects or achievements. When you embody the emotional version of your desired self, everything external adjusts. Consistency is the fuel. Inner power is the ignition, and the universe follows. He explained that belief grows when you stop forcing and start allowing. Allowing is a vibrational state, a calm, confident openness. When someone pushes, they vibrate doubt. When they allow, they vibrate certainty. Mental alignment thrives in the energy of allowing. Identity becomes expansive. Inner power becomes effortless, and manifestation becomes natural. He said visualization becomes powerful when combined with gratitude. Gratitude creates a high frequency that amplifies any image you project. Gratitude tells the subconscious that the image is already real, already yours. Identity aligns with this certainty. Self-discipline maintains the emotional tone, and consistency transforms gratitude into a vibrational habit. He reminded people that trying to control how things will manifest blocks the process. The universe doesn't need instructions, it needs clarity. Your job is to hold the image and the emotion. The universe's job is everything else. Mental alignment respects this division. Inner power grows when you trust it, and identity becomes peaceful knowing that the outcome is inevitable. He said visualization is the language of the subconscious. Words touch the mind. Images touch the soul. Emotion unites both. This is why visualization is one of the most powerful tools ever discovered by humanity. It reprograms identity, awakens inner power, stabilizes mental alignment, and makes manifestation unavoidable with consistency. He concluded this topic, saying that once you master visualization with belief, you no longer chase, you attract. Because you're no longer trying to create the future, you're remembering it. And this realization prepares you for the next step, the power of the words, I am. He always said that the two most powerful words in the universe are I am, because everything that follows becomes a vibrational command. The subconscious accepts it immediately, even if the external world hasn't caught up yet. This declaration acts as an identity stamp. When someone says, I am strong, their frequency rises instantly. When they say, I am weak, it drops. Consistency determines which direction wins. He explained that I am functions like a direct order to the universe. It's not a wish, it's a definition. It's you saying, this is who I choose to be now. The moment this decision settles in emotionally, mental alignment snaps into place. Inner power lights up because doubt stops interfering, and self-discipline reinforces this identity day after day. He said every I am becomes destiny. That's why these words must be used with sacred awareness. Most people wander through life declaring themselves tired, unlucky, unworthy, and the universe simply reflects that identity back to them. Identity forms slowly through repetition. Mental alignment follows whatever you repeat, not whatever you desire. And consistency can turn a disempowering phrase into a lifelong pattern. He loved telling the story of a young man who always said, I am shy. That phrase became his emotional prison for years. One day, the mentor suggested, say I am confident for 30 days, and feel it just a little. At first, it felt like a lie, but with emotional self-discipline, he repeated it daily. Identity began shifting, and eventually, reality mirrored the new statement. He explained that the power of I am comes not from the words themselves, but from the emotion attached to them. Saying, I am abundant, while vibrating fear doesn't work. The emotion contradicts the phrase. But if a person feels even a tiny spark of truth, the subconscious accepts it. Inner power activates from that spark. Mental alignment adjusts, and consistency transforms it into reality. He encouraged people to choose 3 I am declarations to repeat throughout the day. Something like, I am focus, I am abundance, I am calm. These phrases become vibrational tracks the mind follows automatically. Identity stays centered when it has tracks to run on. Self-discipline is simply remembering to repeat them, and mental alignment becomes easier with each repetition. He explained that I am is powerful because it defines what you believe yourself to be, and the universe delivers only what matches belief. When your vibration is I am worthy, life responds with opportunities. When it's I am not enough, life reflects scarcity. Inner power grows when you choose beliefs that lift you. Consistency makes those beliefs your default identity. He shared a simple example. If you wake up and say, I am energy, your body responds immediately. Your posture changes. Your breath deepens. Your mind sharpens. This shift is not psychological, it's vibrational. Identity adapts to the phrase. Self-discipline keeps the practice alive, and consistency turns the phrase into lived reality. He explained that I am works so well because the subconscious only understands direct statements. It doesn't interpret I want to be or I hope to be. It needs I am. That clarity generates a decisive vibration. Inner power resonates with decisive energy, and the universe moves in harmony with that vibration. He said, I am functions like an energetic signature. When you declare, I am prosperity, you sign your frequency with abundance. Everything that resonates with that signature is drawn to you. Identity reorganizes itself to sustain the state. Self-discipline ensures the signature remains clean. Consistency strengthens the vibration. He said speaking, I am, out loud amplifies the vibrational effect. Your voice sends energy into your body, like a tuning fork. This strengthens mental alignment instantly. Inner power expands like a warm wave through the chest. Identity absorbs the vibration, and consistency makes it permanent. He encouraged a simple exercise. Repeat, "I am enough," for 5 minutes until your body relaxes. That relaxation is the subconscious accepting the new truth. Self-discipline is continuing even when it feels strange. Mental alignment grows each time, and inner power rises naturally. He said, "I am" is pure creation because every identity starts as a declaration. Before a person becomes successful, they declare it internally. Before they become strong, they declare it. Identity expands through these internal statements. Self-discipline reinforces them. Consistency makes them unbreakable. He explained that "I am" is powerful because it changes your vibration instantly. "I am peace" relaxes the body. "I am strength" straightens the posture. The vibration updates immediately. Inner power responds to the command. Mental alignment follows like a magnetic pull, and consistency stabilizes the new vibration. He said mastering "I am" means mastering the beginning of all creation. Because everything you affirm, you become. And everything you become, you attract. Identity grows to match your declarations. Inner power becomes steady and undeniable. And this mastery prepares you for the next step, learning how to let go and trust. He always said that letting go is not giving up, but releasing the path so the universe can do its part without interference from your anxiety. Many people try to manifest while vibrating fear, urgency, and doubt, and that heaviness creates resistance. Letting go means saying, "I've done my inner work, and now I allow life to flow." Mental alignment becomes calm, like a still lake. Identity becomes someone who trusts, not someone who begs. And consistency keeps that trust alive even when the mind tries to take control. He explained that the universe responds to what you vibrate, not what you chase. When you vibrate desperation, manifestation slows. Letting go allows the energy to move cleanly. It's like planting a seed. You care for the soil, but don't pull the plant to make it grow faster. Self-discipline is resisting the urge to interfere. Mental alignment is trusting that your vibration has already done the main work. And inner power grows when you realize trust is strength, not weakness. He said letting go means detaching from the anxious version of yourself and stepping into a more mature vibrational identity. Once you visualized, affirmed, and felt your desires real, you must release the energetic pressure. Holding too tightly signals a lack of belief. Letting go signals confidence. This is the purest form of mental alignment, intention mixed with emotional certainty. Consistency turns that certainty into a natural state. He used the example of someone who wanted a relationship, but spent every day vibrating loneliness. They said they wanted love, but they vibrated fear. Letting go meant stopping the desperate search and beginning to live as someone who is already worthy of connection. Self-discipline is staying out of emotional traps. Mental alignment is feeling peace before results arrive. Inner power is knowing that your worth doesn't depend on timing. He explained that letting go cleans your vibration. Resistance is what delays manifestation. Resistance created by fear, attachment, and overthinking. When you release pressure, the subconscious relaxes and receives your intention clearly. Mental alignment deepens. Identity shifts toward trust. And consistency keeps your vibration clean long enough for manifestation to happen naturally. He said something powerful. Those who trust receive faster. Those who doubt delay silently. Trust raises your vibration instantly because it expands your emotional field. Doubt contracts it. A trusting identity attracts opportunities effortlessly. Self-discipline is returning to trust whenever fear arises. Mental alignment sustains clarity even when evidence is not visible. And inner power grows because you stop demanding life to prove itself every minute. He explained that letting go doesn't mean stopping action. It means stopping anxious action. Inspired action comes from calmness, not desperation. When you act from peace, your decisions flow better. Self-discipline is knowing when you're acting from fear or inspiration. Mental alignment keeps your actions aligned with your vibration, and consistency builds momentum. He said that letting go is often the only missing step for many people. They visualize, affirm, and feel, but then cling so tightly to the desire that they suffocate the process. That emotional grip says, I don't trust it will come unless I force it. Inner power grows when you release that grip. Self-discipline trains you to stop revisiting fear. Mental alignment stabilizes your vibration, and consistency keeps the flow open. He described letting go as opening your hand. When you squeeze too tightly, nothing can move. When you open your hand, energy flows. Identity becomes lighter and more receptive. Self-discipline is remembering that pressure creates energetic blockage. Mental alignment becomes easier without emotional tension, and consistency keeps the hand and the vibration open. He suggested a simple exercise. Whenever anxiety appears, take a deep breath and say, I allow it to arrive in perfect timing. This phrase instantly shifts your vibration. It takes you out of control mode and into trust mode. Inner power rises through acceptance. Self-discipline is repeating the process whenever needed. Mental alignment remembers that universal timing is different from human timing, and consistency creates emotional mastery. He explained that the universe is a mirror. When you trust, it reflects trust. When you panic, it reflects panic. Letting go signals that you are aligned with the result. Identity stabilizes in confidence. Inner power radiates more strongly. Mental alignment becomes coherent, and manifestation flows because emotional resistance is removed. He said trust creates a receiving field. When you trust, you become open and magnetic. When you fear, you become closed and repelling. Life feels cooperative when your vibration is aligned with openness. Self-discipline keeps the emotional door open. Mental alignment acts like a steady antenna, and consistency ensures your vibration stays clear. He reminded that letting go also means stopping the habit of checking whether the manifestation has arrived yet. Checking signals doubt. Expecting signals certainty. Inner power strengthens when you focus on what you have, not what is missing. Identity expands through trust. Mental alignment grows through attention to abundance, and consistency keeps your emotional field aligned. He said trust is not a one-time event, it's a daily practice. On difficult days, the mind will try to pull you back into fear. Self-discipline is choosing trust again, and again, and again. Mental alignment becomes stronger each time you override doubt. Inner power increases with emotional repetition, and consistency transforms trust into identity. He concluded this topic by saying that mastering letting go shows you a profound truth. The universe always knew the fastest path to your desire. You were the only one blocking it. Letting go removes you from the way. Identity expands. Inner power stabilizes. Mental alignment becomes fluid. And this prepares you to understand an even deeper secret. The subconscious creates everything. He always said the subconscious is the real architect of life because it receives all your emotions, beliefs, images, and repeated statements. The conscious mind may desire something, but if the subconscious doesn't believe it, nothing manifests. The subconscious controls reactions, patterns, perception, and magnetism. Mental alignment happens when both conscious and subconscious work together. Identity reflects this inner harmony. Inner power grows when internal conflict ends, and consistency solidifies the new vibration. He explained that the subconscious doesn't argue or analyze. It simply accepts whatever you feel repeatedly. Emotions are its language. A person who constantly feels fear will vibrate fear, no matter how many positive thoughts they try to think. A person who nurtures confidence vibrates confidence. Self-discipline is learning to regulate emotion. Mental alignment is choosing emotions that match your goals. And inner power rises when the subconscious finally supports you. He compared the subconscious to fertile soil. Whatever you plant grows, flowers or weeds. Repeating, I'm unlucky grows weeds. Repeating, I'm worthy grows flowers. Identity is shaped by whatever seeds dominate your emotional field. Self-discipline is choosing your seeds wisely. Mental alignment waters the right ones, and consistency turns them into your lived reality. He explained that around 95% of your decisions are subconscious. This is why people feel stuck even when consciously trying to improve. The block is not logic, it's programming. Mental alignment rewires this programming. Inner power awakens when you realize you were never broken, only conditioned. And self-discipline is how you recondition yourself. He said the subconscious learns through repetition. Every repeated thought becomes easier to believe. Every repeated emotion becomes familiar. And the subconscious loves familiarity. Identity is built through repetition. Mental alignment strengthens with emotional consistency. Inner power expands when you stop feeding old patterns. And consistency ensures the new wiring stays. He reminded that the subconscious absorbs influences you aren't even aware of: music, words, environments, conversations. These inputs become emotional codes. Self-discipline is protecting your mental space. Mental alignment is curating your emotional diet. And consistency turns protection into empowerment. He said the subconscious doesn't understand time. It reacts only to what you feel now. This is why feeling your desire as already real accelerates manifestation. The subconscious believes the emotion. Identity adapts. Inner power ignites. Mental alignment stabilizes. And manifestation becomes faster because the emotional gap closes. He said negative repetition creates self-sabotage. People who constantly repeat, "I'm not good enough," attract situations reinforcing that belief. Self-discipline replaces these loops. Mental alignment channels energy toward possibility. Inner power grows with each emotional upgrade. And consistency dissolves years of limiting patterns. He often gave the example of someone who said, "I'm insecure." This phrase became a subconscious lens. Every event was interpreted through insecurity. Identity shrank. But when he helped them repeat elevated beliefs, the lens changed. Self-discipline protected the new belief. Inner power emerged. Mental alignment created new interpretations. And life followed. He explained that the subconscious reacts strongly to imagination. Visualizing success activates the same neural pathways as real success. Identity expands into that role. Mental alignment deepens. Self-discipline turns the practice into habit. And consistency makes the new identity normal. He reminded that visualization and affirmations work best in relaxed states like early morning or before sleep. In these states, the subconscious is receptive. Identity absorbs new beliefs gently. Inner power grows quietly. Mental alignment strengthens effortlessly. And programming happens faster. He said the subconscious changes your external world once it changes internally. Your choices shift, your energy shifts, your boundaries shift, and life responds. Self-discipline keeps you reinforcing the new beliefs. Consistency stabilizes the new patterns. And inner power becomes second nature. He explained that the subconscious builds automatic patterns to save energy. If the pattern is scarcity, life feels scarce. If the pattern is abundance, life expands. Identity adapts to whichever pattern dominates. Self-discipline chooses the new pattern. Mental alignment reinforces it. Inner power thrives in the upgraded program. He said that when the subconscious aligns with your desires, life begins flowing with surprising ease. You stop fighting yourself. Mental alignment creates clarity. Identity becomes lighter. Inner power rises. Consistency sustains the flow. And manifestation becomes natural. He concluded this topic saying, "Understanding the subconscious is like finding the secret manual of your vibration. Once you learn to influence it, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a conscious creator. Self-discipline becomes your transformation tool. Mental alignment your compass. Inner power your engine. And this prepares you for the next truth, the science behind manifestation." He always said that spirituality and science don't contradict each other. They complete each other when you look closely. Many people think the law of attraction is purely mystical, but much of it is anchored in neuroscience, psychology, and biochemistry. The brain creates internal realities that shape external behaviors, and that is not belief, it is science. Mental alignment is simply the neurological synchronization between thought, emotion, and action. Identity forms through repeated patterns, and consistency determines whether those patterns uplift or limit you. He explained that the placebo effect is one of the clearest scientific proofs of the mind's power. A pill with no medicine can reduce pain or cure symptoms, simply because the person believes it will. That belief alters chemical signals in the brain, affecting perception, emotion, and even physical processes. Inner power functions the same way. When you believe, your body responds. Self-discipline trains your focus toward empowering beliefs, and mental alignment amplifies those beliefs until the external world matches them. He said neuroscience proves neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire through repetition. Each repeated thought strengthens a neural pathway. The more it repeats, the more automatic it becomes. Identity is built on these pathways. Self-discipline chooses which pathways to strengthen. Mental alignment reinforces them. Consistency makes them permanent. And inner power grows as old patterns dissolve. He explained that emotions release chemicals that mark experiences in the subconscious. Fear releases cortisol. Joy releases dopamine and oxytocin. These chemicals create strong emotional memories that influence future behavior. Mental alignment is choosing which emotions to reinforce. Inner power expands when you master your emotional chemistry. And self-discipline ensures you repeat emotional states that serve you. He said thoughts produce electrical frequencies, and emotions produce magnetic frequencies, together forming your personal electromagnetic field. Science can measure these waves, especially those generated by the heart and brain. When you think one thing but feel another, your field becomes incoherent. Mental alignment harmonizes these signals. Identity attracts experiences matching that harmony. And consistency strengthens your electromagnetic signature. He explained that the mind becomes most programmable during theta brainwave states, early morning or right before sleep. In these states, the subconscious is open and receptive. This is why affirmations and visualizations at these times are so powerful. Inner power absorbs new beliefs with ease. Self-discipline uses these strategic windows, and mental alignment accelerates. He said the brain uses something called the reticular activating system, a filter that highlights what is emotionally important. When you repeat something with emotion, this system begins noticing opportunities aligned with your belief. Not magic, neuroscience. Identity starts seeing possibilities. Inner power grows when the invisible becomes visible, and consistency keeps the filter aligned. He explained that the brain reacts the same to imagined experiences as to real ones. Athletes who visualize victories activate the same neural circuits as during real performance. This prepares the body for success. Mental alignment unites thought and physiology. Identity expands to fit the role imagined. Self-discipline sustains the practice, and inner power becomes instinctive. He said the expectation effect is widely studied in psychology. When you expect something to happen, your brain behaves as if it's inevitable. This changes your energy, decisions, posture, and magnetism. Inner power strengthens when you expect good outcomes. Mental alignment organizes your attention around them, and consistency makes expectation a lifestyle. He reminded that just as placebo exists, so does nocebo. When negative beliefs create real symptoms, this proves the mind shapes the body. Self-discipline protects your attention. Mental alignment stops the mind from feeding negative expectations. Inner power grows through emotional responsibility, and consistency rewrites your biology. He said science studies heart-brain coherence when both enter harmonic rhythm. This state generates clarity, calmness, intuition, and elevated emotion. Identity expands in this coherence. Self-discipline practices breathing and intention. Mental alignment sharpens intuition, and inner power becomes accessible at will. He explained the human vibration influences others through mirror neurons, responsible for emotional resonance. This is why confident people attract respect effortlessly. Inner power creates an energetic presence. Identity radiates into environments, and consistency keeps that social vibration stable. He said psychology calls this self-fulfilling prophecy. Beliefs create behaviors, behaviors create results, and results reinforce beliefs. This is manifestation in logical form. Self-discipline steers beliefs. Mental alignment guides behavior. Inner power fuels outcomes, and consistency ensures the cycle uplifts you. He explained that the mind and body constantly communicate. Negative thoughts produce stress hormones. Positive thoughts produce restorative ones. Identity is shaped by these cycles. Self-discipline chooses what to feed emotionally. Mental alignment strengthens emotional coherence, and consistency transforms this into identity. He concluded that science and spirituality are simply two languages describing the same phenomenon, vibration. Whether you call it frequency or chemistry, the result is the same. Your inner state creates your outer reality. Mental alignment is the mechanism. Inner power is the engine. And now you're ready to see how real people used this to shape their destinies. He said that if anyone doubted vibration, they only needed to study people who transformed the world using these principles. Michael Jackson visualized entire concerts before they happened: the lights, the crowd, the sound, the emotion. His subconscious accepted that identity long before fame arrived. Mental alignment made his vision unshakable. Identity grew into the role he rehearsed internally. Inner power sustained him through rejection, and consistency made imagination become reality. He explained that Henry Ford manifested innovation through unwavering belief. When engineers insisted the V8 engine was impossible, he simply said, "Find a way." His belief was vibration. He held the image emotionally until reality conformed. Self-discipline kept him committed. Mental alignment kept him focused. Identity became the identity of a visionary, and consistency turned the impossible into history. He said Walt Disney saw kingdoms before he had money for food. His inner world was more vivid than his external circumstances. Identity formed through imagination, not environment. The subconscious accepted the vision. Inner power sustained him through years of disbelief. Mental alignment kept the dream alive, and consistency built an empire. He mentioned Jim Carrey writing himself a $10 million check long before success. Carrying that check daily fed his subconscious with emotional proof. That emotional repetition shaped identity. Mental alignment brought opportunities into focus. Inner power kept him alive during hardship, and consistency fulfilled the exact amount years later. He said Oprah manifested her life through emotional alchemy. She turned trauma into fuel, fear into clarity, pain into purpose. She believed in her vision long before any evidence appeared. Identity shifted first. The world followed. Inner power sustained her. Self-discipline shaped her vibration, and consistency built her empire. He said Tesla visualized inventions fully formed before building anything. He saw colors, functions, dimensions, movement, all in detail. The subconscious accepted each invention as real. Identity merged with invention. Mental alignment made creation inevitable. Inner power guided his genius, and consistency changed the world. He said Muhammad Ali became champion long before stepping into the ring. "I am the greatest" was not ego, it was vibration. Identity accepted the role of champion. Self-discipline turned belief into training. Mental alignment strengthened his inner world. Inner power carried him through adversity, and consistency made him a legend. He explained that Beyoncé uses identity shifting to channel elevated versions of herself. By stepping into an alter ego, she shifts her vibration intentionally. Identity expands. Expression transforms. Self-discipline sustains her rituals. Inner power radiates, and mental alignment creates unmatched performance. He said Michael Jordan visualized every move before executing it. His subconscious accepted victory repeatedly. Identity aligned with winning. Self-discipline honed the skill. Inner power sharpened instincts, and consistency created one of the greatest athletes in history. He said J.K. Rowling imagined every detail of her characters and world long before publishing. Her mind lived the story. The subconscious accepted it as real. Identity formed around being a writer. Inner power kept her alive during depression. Mental alignment guided her, and consistency built a global phenomenon. He said Steve Jobs visualized products and experiences far beyond technology. He envisioned emotion, impact, and meaning. Identity became that of a revolutionary. Self-discipline sustained the vision. Mental alignment created coherence. Inner power fueled innovation, and consistency changed culture worldwide. He said spiritual leaders manifested entire movements through vibration. Their belief was so strong that it reshaped collective consciousness. Identity became symbolic. Mental alignment created clarity. Inner power influenced millions, and consistency built legacy. He said ordinary people manifest miracles daily, healing, opportunities, abundance, because they change internally first. Identity shifts, vibration shifts, choices shift, and life responds. Self-discipline stabilizes the new energy. Mental alignment organizes it, and consistency makes it visible. He explained that manifestation is a universal skill, not a gift. Anyone can learn it. Vibration responds to practice, not privilege. Identity can be rebuilt. Inner power can be awakened. Mental alignment can be trained. And consistency makes the extraordinary normal. He concluded saying that examples are reminders. The same force exists inside you. You only need to activate it. Identity responds to intention. Mental alignment organizes vibration. Inner power fuels manifestation. And this leads to the final truth. Everything vibrates together. Everything is connected. He said everything in the universe vibrates, galaxies, thoughts, emotions, forming an invisible web connecting all existence. When you think and feel, your vibration travels outward, interacting with energies unseen. This web responds to your dominant frequency, not your whispered desires. Mental alignment organizes your signal. Identity becomes the transmitter, and consistency strengthens the transmission. He explained that like attracts like is not philosophy but vibrational law. Low vibration attracts low experiences. High vibration attracts high experiences. Inner power elevates your frequency. Self-discipline keeps it consistent. And mental alignment keeps it coherent. He said thoughts are like radio waves. You don't see them, but you experience their effects. Your body reacts to thoughts, and the universe reacts to your body's vibration. Identity emits the primary signal. Inner power amplifies it, and consistency determines its clarity. He said that when two people meet, their vibrations speak before their words do. That's why some spaces feel heavy and others feel uplifting. You're always exchanging energy. Self-discipline protects your vibration. Mental alignment maintains balance. Identity defines the energy you bring. He compared vibration to tuning an instrument. You must tune your emotions and thoughts to match the life you want. Inner power tunes the frequency. Self-discipline keeps it sharp. And consistency transforms tuning into habit. He explained that everything has an energetic field, and similar fields attract each other. Joy finds joy. Fear finds fear. Mental alignment breaks negative cycles. Identity evolves. And inner power recalibrates your magnetism. He said human vibration influences spaces. Ever felt a heavy room? That's stored emotion. Inner power purifies environments. Self-discipline stabilizes presence. And consistency builds magnetic charisma. He said the universe replies precisely to what you emotionally sustain. If you vibrate lack, it returns lack. If you vibrate abundance, it returns abundance. Identity determines your emotional signature. Mental alignment harmonizes it. Inner power accelerates it. He explained that vibration is circular. Everything you give returns. Love returns love. Anger returns anger. Self-discipline chooses your emission. Mental alignment shapes it. And consistency ensures it stays elevated. He said synchronicities, coincidences that feel perfect, are signs your vibration is aligned. Identity notices patterns. Inner power acts on them. Self-discipline keeps you ready. And mental alignment interprets guidance. He reminded that silence strengthens vibration more than effort. Quiet mind, strong signal. Self-discipline protects stillness. Inner power rises in calmness. And consistency deepens connection. He said universal connection is not something you must create, but something you must remember. You've always been connected. Identity expands when you return to this truth. Mental alignment synchronizes with life. Inner power becomes effortless. He explained that connection brings belonging, an inner sense that you're guided. Fear dissolves. Identity heals. Mental alignment flows. And consistency keeps the bond alive. He said the universe is always communicating through emotion, intuition, patterns, timing. Self-discipline sharpens perception. Inner power refines interpretation. Mental alignment receives signals clearly. And consistency keeps you listening. He concluded saying that once you understand universal connection, you stop forcing life and start cooperating with it. You become a conscious participant in creation. Identity stabilizes. Inner power radiates. Mental alignment elevates. And you're now ready for the final step, integrating everything you've learned. Now that you've walked through this journey and uncovered the hidden power that has always lived inside your mind, you must ask yourself, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you store it away as another comforting idea, or will you apply it and let your reality finally reflect the elevated version of you that awakened while listening to this audiobook? Nothing changes outside until something changes inside, and you've already proven that you can access a far higher vibrational state than you once believed. So what will you manifest? What belief will you release today? What identity will you step into before you sleep tonight? Look at your life with courage and notice how many possibilities you once ignored because your vibration was too low. Now you know how to raise it. And once vibration changes, destiny changes. Are you ready to stop surviving and finally start creating? Are you ready to claim your inner power as something real? Everything you want already exists in a vibrational field, waiting for you to align with it through mental alignment, consistency, and emotional clarity. Transformation begins in the next thought you choose after this. That is when a new reality starts forming. So what new choice will you make? What decision will you finally stop postponing? The universe is waiting for your vibration to shift so it can move the rest of the path toward you. If this message opened your eyes, awakened your consciousness, or reignited your inner strength, then don't let this moment fade. Continue evolving. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and stay close to content that expands your vibration and strengthens your identity. You don't need to walk this journey alone. There is knowledge here powerful enough to transform your life at every level. Join this community of people who chose to rewrite their destiny consciously. Every video is a key. Every lesson is a step. Every reflection is a silent expansion within you. If you're ready for the next stage of your evolution, click subscribe and come walk with me.